All right. So everybody, welcome back. We are at the top of the hour. It looks like we lost some people that were signed in. Hopefully they are coming back. We're going to talk about team building and prospecting. Guys, I'm going to talk to you about this in terms of prospecting and team building for your chapter, but please be thinking about how this stuff could be helping your personal business, right? Make sure that it's that you know how it's helping your personal business. So here are a few things that you could do. You could host a mixer. What I would suggest doing for that is getting visitors that have already come and asking them to bring a friend to a chapter builder mixer. This doesn't have to cost anything. You can just find a nice, like a sports bar, and invite everybody over, and maybe the chapter buys some wings or something. Maybe they don't. But you can host a mixer, and that can help you bring more people in. You can host or join a meetup. I do have a meetup channel. It's called By State Business Professionals. And any chapter that would like to host a meetup and advertise it on my channel, I have almost 1,000 members in my meetup group. You are welcome to do that. So all you need to do is let me know, and we'll get it posted up for you. You tell me what, it has to be a regular day a month. So like third Tuesday of every month at a regular place, because I put it up there, I program it for the year, and then I'm done. And so you've got to commit to it, and you've got to commit to having it staffed and all that kind of stuff, because I don't like to do a lot of admin work on the back end. But you are welcome to use that meetup platform. You're going to want to maintain a local events calendar and get volunteers. Proactively get volunteers. If Mark Breimer is hosting the Networkathon, Mark Breimer, you really need to unmute and do a pitch for the Networkathon, because I'm teeing you up here, and I know you're on the call. So if you know the Networkathon is coming up, who's going? Is there somebody in your chapter that's going to be a sponsor? Who's going to the Networkathon? Mark, are you within earshot and able to tell people when the next Networkathon is?
Yes, I am.
Mark, tell everybody about the next Networkathon. You got 30 seconds, go.
Networkathon is going to be on the 22nd, which is next Wednesday, virtually from 4:30 to 6:30 for those who prefer that option. If you prefer in person, October 1st, 4 to 7, Zion Lutheran Church off of Dorset and 270. All you have to do is go to www.networkathon.com to sign up for one or both options. We'll get you 30 people an hour virtually, and a lot more if you're in person. I'll put it in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I also know that October 26th is the St. Charles Small Business Expo, and BNI will be a sponsor there, and we will be doing our network. It's not really speed networking. It's a facilitated networking circles. So we'll be doing our networking circles October 26th from 11:30 to 1 at the expo. So there are all kinds of opportunities out there. Maintain that calendar and get volunteers specifically from your chapters to be the ones that go to that event, collect up business cards, and start bringing that to the chapter. Host a chapter business expo. We've got some unmuted folks. If you could go through and handle that for me, that would be absolutely fabulous, because there's a little distraction.
I've also got people coming back from breakout rooms. So.
Oh, awesome. Okay. All right. So we're going to maybe host a chapter business expo where each of you gets a table, and you're going to go out on Eventbrite, publicize it on social media, and have a networking expo that your chapter sponsors itself. Create a social media strategy. All right. That would be a good, decide where you're going to be. You're going to be on Instagram, you're going to be on LinkedIn, you're going to be on Facebook, and create a social media strategy so that you can attract members. Maybe you want to throw some money at some Facebook ads. What about a press release? Find somebody who wants to take a little course, a little, $27 course on how to write a press release, and start publishing press releases in local news outlets. How about publishing your BNI testimonials on people's pages, recommendations on LinkedIn, shouting out and spotlighting members? So each week, maybe your featured speaker could be the subject of a social media campaign. Everyone publishes a testimonial, shares those with their audience, and you get visibility that way. Or how about publishing a newsletter? How about getting something like a free HubSpot account and putting your visitor information in there asking the visitors if they want to opt into your newsletter so they know what's going on. And in that newsletter, you can say, hey, coming up in the month of October, these are our featured speakers. Here's our results from September. What would having it land in a visitor email box do to keep them connected and keep them out there? You could then use your social media to be able to publish that as a blog post or something. Get your tech people in there helping you market. Okay. So what you're going to want to do, you know what? We're going to try these breakout rooms again right now, if that's okay. We're going to take a few minutes and get into your groups and decide what of these ideas, like this is a sample annual themed calendar, but what of these ideas do you think you might want to do? Throw out the ideas. What can we do in October? What can we do in November? What can we do in December? January and February are reserved for the membership extravaganza. So you don't need to plan for that. But the other 10 months, what are some ideas that you think you'd like to incorporate? We're going to give you, let's see what time it is. We're going to give you about 8 minutes in the breakout rooms to chat and then come back here and we're going to keep on keeping on. So John, go ahead and open out those breakout rooms. You all should be able to surf the room, go to your chapter. If you find that you're alone in your breakout room, go ahead and join a different chapter or come back in the main room and we'll help get you situated. Okay.
So Virginia, before I jump out, are you going to close the rooms in time to bring people back, or do you want me to jump back in and do that for you?
If you're going to go out in a room, I'll handle it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to jump into my room. So.
Excellent. I will handle it.
Thank you, Virginia, for the time.
You're welcome, Mark, every time.
And Power only has one person in there, so I'm going to pop in real quick.
All right, Stacy, that's great.
If I can get to it.
Virginia, which room would you suggest I go to? There was no one in mine.
Why don't you go to Power?
Power, okay.
Yeah, I think you guys could be really nice sister chapters because they're online and you're in person and you guys have a really similar culture.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Virginia, it's Amanda. Help me. I can't get into my breakout room.
All right, everybody, welcome back. If you're not muted, if you could go ahead and do that for me, that would be great. We get a lot of echo and background noise when we have people unmuted. And would absolutely love for you guys to pop into the chat just a couple of things that happened, something about what happened in your breakout room, something that you guys decided. We're definitely going to do what? What's a tactic that you're going to use? So go ahead and pop that in the chat. Stacy, are you with us, my dear? You should be back soon.
I am here.
She is here. Awesome. So Stacy, if you'll go ahead and read the chat, that would be really great.
Sorry, it took me all the way to the top of the chat. Let me get to the bottom. There we go.
Oh no.
Okay. Jennifer Grayson says, get more engagement from our Facebook page.
Okay.
Business Expo and social campaign for speakers. The bring a new sub day for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Another one for the sub day. Regular press releases.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Using Sales Navigator to target prospects.
Bam, love that.
Anyone else have any feedback? Teacher Appreciation Day.
Yeah,
Thank you,
that was a great one. I know Building Business Connections does that every year at the end of the school year, and they get loads of like opportunity out of that. All right. So coalesce that plan. Obviously, we're not going to get everything done in a morning. So make sure that you're doing that and that you're enlisting the help of people, whether they have the title or not. Ask people for their help. Find out what they're good at. Let them donate their talents to your efforts. Okay. So growth team, you then are going to hand off the responsibility. The baton gets passed to the visitor host team. So let's go ahead and take the next 30 minutes or so to talk about how a visitor host team executes the plan and who you need on this team and how it all works. Okay. So you are in charge of executing the plan, and that means you are curating the visitor experience. So visitor host coordinator, what you want to be thinking about is, what kind of an experience do I want the visitors to have? Because visitors don't join you, believe it or not. They come to BNI in general because they want to network and they want some referrals. They stay because the education is the best in the biz, but they join your chapter because they like it, because they had a good time, because they felt warm and welcome and wanted, because people were interested in them, because people weren't hardcore selling them on, you should join my team, we're so desperate to grow our chapter, but rather these people really want to help me grow my business and this is engaging and fun. What kind of an experience do you want your visitors to have? And then the question is, how do we go about creating that experience that attracts the kind of members that we want in our stead? Remember that people will they will never think about what you said. They will forget about what you did, but they will never forget the feeling. When I ask people, why didn't you join? You visited these 3 chapters. Why didn't you join the other 2? There are 2 reasons. One is, I'll tell you, I didn't feel engaged. It wasn't a good meeting. That's usually number 1. And number 2 is nobody asked. Nobody asked. No one picked up the phone, sat down with me and said, what are your goals for your business? What is your vision for your business? What are the bottlenecks in your business? What kind of help and support do you need? What are you looking for in a network? What's important to you? No one asked. Many of you said that you stepped into this support team role because someone asked. Your visitors will join when you show that you care, when you make them feel wanted, seen, and heard, and when you invite them to join. I think we can help you grow your business. We'd love it if you would give us the opportunity to try and join our team. So let's talk a little bit about the visitor host team responsibilities. Number 1 is to pre-welcome visitors via email and phone. Pick up the phone, people. Texting and emailing is not enough. If you've read 7 levels of the 7 habits, 7 levels of communication, you will find that email and messaging is for confirming, not for creating relationship. What creates relationship is writing a handwritten note, picking up the phone, and taking people to an event. That's it. That's what creates relationship. All right. I want you to think about, when you think about sales and you say it takes 8 to 12 interactions to create a sale, in BNI, you want to do the vast majority of those before the visitor ever arrives. The reason the reason visitors don't show up to your meeting is because 90 minutes is too expensive. You've got to make it worth it for them to show up. A couple of ways to do that is, if you've got a CPA coming, introduce them to the bookkeeper, the credit card processor, and the web designer, and say, hey, Stacy, guess what? There's a CPA coming. And Stacy reaches out and says, that's great. I'd love to meet you. Maybe even Stacy picks up the phone and leaves a message. Hi, Susie CPA. I got wind of the fact that Clayton invited you to come to our chapter, and I am so excited because I'm looking for a go-to for my clients, and I'd love to get to know you and see if we can find some synergy. When those reach outs happen ahead of time, that's hospitality. When they happen after, that's endless pursuit of the disinterested. None of us likes follow-up. All of us like hospitality. So take the time when the visitor notification comes through to connect on LinkedIn, to reach out by phone, by email, and let people know that you're interested. That's the visitor host team responsibility, not only to do it, but to make sure that the team is doing it, to make sure that you're saying, Stacy, meet this accountant, meet Stacy. You guys are going to love each other. Can't wait for you guys to create business together. That's what you guys are doing. You're catalyzing relationships. Make sure you are arriving 15 minutes before open networking starts. So if your meeting starts at 7 a.m., you need to be there at 6:30 with the table set up. So at 6:45, people are registering and getting ready for open networking. Open networking is not included in the 90 minutes of your meeting. Let me say it again. I know that in COVID, we got used to the 60-minute meeting, but if you're going back in person or you've got more than 7 people in your chapter, you need to have a 90-minute meeting agenda. 15 minutes on the front is open networking. 15 minutes on the back is post-event networking. Everyone should be planning on being there for the full 2 hours, and your setup teams need to be there before then. Ensure that your team is prepared for each meeting and assist your team as needed. Make sure you're setting up one-to-ones with the visitors at the end of the meetings as a visitor host team. Ensure that you've got meeting supplies. Do you have name tags? Do you have pens? Do you have whatever you need? I got to tell you, I thought the coolest thing for those of you that do charge visitors to be there, Diane Collins was hosting an event here at a Real Producers event, and she had a little stand and it said, Venmo Diane, and it had the QR code to her Venmo. So that's a really great way that you can help people pay their meeting fees, is having that QR code right there. They can snap it, they can put it right into your Venmo or your PayPal account. Be sure you plan on attending that monthly team leaders meeting so that you know what the growth events are and how to prepare, and participate on the Passport Mentor team, which we're going to be talking about in a little bit. Again, if you are the host, it is your job to quarterback this and make sure all of this stuff is happening. It is not to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. These are the visitor host positions. You've got a coordinator who should have about 5 people helping. There are 5 roles. One is pre-event calling and emailing. I'll tell you who does this better than anybody I ever know, and that is William Frost, and he is on this call right now. One of the best visitor emails I've ever seen in my entire life, and it is thorough, and it is warm, and it is welcoming. And Will does these calls, and he is an amazing visitor host, and he just recruited Brian Peterson onto the team to help him get this stuff done. So he's actually gone out and asked. So Will, I'm giving you like a high five and a thumbs up for the work that you're doing as visitor host coordinator in Premier Results. You want your day of greeters. Who's going to stand there at the table and greet? Who's going to open the meeting room on Zoom and be there to say, hi, welcome. It's so great to have you. And are you welcoming your members the same way as visitors? Or does it sound like this? Oh, hey, Micah. Oh, man, Clayton, welcome. Oh, yeah. Hey, Larry. Hi, Betsy. What's up? Tim, so good to see you. That doesn't make your members feel warm, welcome, and wanted, eh? And your members need to feel warm, welcome, and wanted if they're going to stay and renew. So make sure everyone gets welcomed. You want to have some master connectors. You want to have people that are saying, when a visitor walks in and you find out what they do, you say, oh man, you know what? Betsy, come here. Betsy, look, meet Virginia. You guys have a lot to talk about, and let them go and network. Your membership specialist is the person who knows all about how to fill out an app. They know the pricing. They know that, the new pricing. They know that we have a payment plan. They know everything that there is to know about this. They know we have PayPal 0%. They understand how to walk people through. You need a membership specialist or 2 that can take people out of the room and find out more about them and offer to help them grow their business through membership in your referral team. And then you need a team of people that do the post-meeting follow-up, and we're going to talk about that. So visitor host coordinators, make sure that you are inviting people to help you, because otherwise you get to do this all by yourself. And I'm a launch director, and I'm going to tell you, launch directors do all of this work, and it is a lot of work for one person to do. Okay. Pre-meeting specialists send a welcome email with directions and specifics. Then they do a welcome call, which is a mini one-to-one that is only about them. You're not telling them about you. What business are they in? Are they familiar with BNI? What would make a meeting valuable for them? And offer to make an introduction. And that's when you make that email introduction that says, hey, here's who we have in our chapter. Who would you like to meet? Hey, chapter member, meet our visitor, visitor, meet our chapter member. I'm telling you, this one activity on the part of the visitor host can change your recruiting. It can make your efforts, your recruiting efforts on the back end, double. You can 2x the results that you're getting by just this one action. When people arrive at your meeting, whether that's in person or on Zoom, make sure that you are there 15 minutes early. So your visitor host team should be in the Zoom room 15 minutes early. They should be in the meeting room ready to greet guests when they arrive. Make sure all necessary signage is put up so that people can find your meeting. There was a chapter back in the day that met in a church, St. John's Church, out in in West County, Wildwood, Baldwin, West County area. And it was hard to find the meeting room. They had a greeter at the door that said, "Hi, welcome. Beth will show you the way." And the person walked in 100 feet and met Beth. And then Beth said, "Oh, you can go meet Bob down the hall." And Bob was standing at the other end of the hall. And the person walked and Bob said, "Hi, welcome. Who are you? Blah, blah, blah." "Oh, great. Hey, Micah, that's standing out the door outside the meeting room. This is Virginia. She's in the business to business team." And then Micah would call over the business to business master connector, and that person would take them over to the power team. They had it down like it was like the Nutcracker. It was so orchestrated. It was beautiful. Granted, they were a large chapter, had a lot of people. How can you reduce the friction of finding the meeting room? That is part of the greeter's job. Make sure you have name badges for people. Make sure you have sign-in sheets. Your members should be signing in with what time they arrive as well, so that your secretary treasurer can track attendance. Do you have pens and markers? Be a great idea maybe to invest in some pens with BNI and your chapter name on it, so that you're not having to disinfect pens right now. Like, hey, here's your pen, take this with you, right? And then any chapter marketing materials. I love having the marketing materials on QR codes on little signs, so people can snap those and get the downloads pretty quickly. Make sure that your visitor host team collects 2 business cards from the visitors and makes those available to the president. Okay, so the visitor host team keeps 1 card and the president gets another card. Here's a little tip. I'm just looking at people on the screen, right? Clayton, I think I know how to say your name, but it's spelled kind of complicated. So if I were the visitor host, if you could unmute, we'll role play this. I would say, "Hey, Clayton, how do you pronounce your last name?"
Molenbeek. Thank you for asking, Virginia.
You're welcome, Clayton. So then on the back of the business card, I write Mo Len Beck, right? Mo, like mow a lawn, Len Beck. And then I give that to the president. So when the president says, "And we have Clayton Molenbeek," he doesn't say, "Hi, we have Clayton Moellenbach," right? Because the sweetest name ever is our own. And we like it to be pronounced well. And believe it or not, just that little thing. See, Clayton said, "Thank you for asking," right? Not only that, thank you for the visibility in a room of 150 people. I appreciate that as well, right? But it makes them feel important that you asked and that you care and that their name gets pronounced properly. Your connectors are going to set the visitor expectations, perhaps hand them the agenda, let them know that your business card box might be passed. And guys, here's the thing. Maybe you're just going to leave that box on the table and let visitors collect up the cards that are important to them. Make sure there's an agenda that has everybody's name and number, or perhaps talk to Tom Liebenroot at BizPro Mobile and go ahead and get a digital roster that people can get, that they can actually save to the contacts in their phone and carry you around with them. I know there are a lot of chapters that have done it, but not nearly enough of you. Make sure that your people know, your visitors know, that they're going to have 30 seconds or 45 seconds and that you're going to keep them to time, and you don't mean to be rude, but you do want the meeting to end on time, so we're respectful of everyone's day. And then make sure that you are not allowing visitors to dump their collateral in the meeting. That is a privilege of membership. One of the ways that you can fix that is by simply having a member expo table where people put out their marketing materials on an expo table. And you tend to have the visitor host table, registration table on one side and the member expo on the other. So they have to kind of run the gauntlet, right? Or you can put them registration and then the expo table. And then remember that you're introducing visitors to contact sphere professionals. Membership specialist. I got to tell you, many more chapters than I care to note think this is pushy and they avoid it. It's only pushy if you're pushy, right? There is an orientation sheet in your leadership team manual that shows you how to do it. It allows you to learn more about the members. Then you can say, hey, here are the things that we do to support one another. We show up every week. You don't say, if you're going to join, you have to do this and you have to do that. It's way different when I say, Megan, you said that what's important to you in a network is that people are trustworthy, right? And that people show up for you and they follow up on referrals and that they really genuinely care about you. And we've got some commitments that we make to each other that I'd love to share with you. We show up for each other every single week because proximity equals profitability. The more we're together, the more know, like, and trust we build, right? And then we do this, and then we do that. And those are the commitments that we make to each other. So you can call them rules, regulations, policies, and you must, or you can call them commitments that we make to each other in service to one another to help each other grow their business. And you say, there's an application. We don't just let anybody in. So that way, we're curating your network for you and making sure that the things that are important to you are important to us and that they're maintained inside the group. So you don't have to worry about doing business with weird people because we're not just taking anybody. We're going to curate it. All right. We're doing business with some weird people, but they're weird in a good way. They're weird in a good way. Megan, I just saw your face when I said that. I was like, I know you guys consider yourselves weird. I don't. I just consider yourselves unique. But anyway. Explain the payment process. We all invest in this, and investment is a big part of it because we have support from BNI and we have an education platform and we have all of these great tools at our disposal. So there is an investment. This is what we all pay. This is what we all invest. And I'd love to answer any questions. Do you think you'd like to do this with us? That's not a pushy sales presentation. That is an invitation to join us and to join our network. So get a membership specialist that is forthright, but has some skills. And if you have if you are the membership specialist and you're like, holy crap, what did she just say? Virginia, could you write that down? Call and we'll train you. Your director can train you in this process, okay? The follow-up specialist is going to enter the contacts into BNI Connect, mail a handwritten or a send-out card for first-time qualified visitors immediately after the meeting, connect with them on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, find out, right? So if I'm going to say, if I want to find out, I'm like, hey, Megan, unmute for a second. Hey, Megan, I would absolutely love to connect with you on social media. What's the platform you would prefer that I connect with you on?
I would prefer you connect with me on Facebook, please.
All right. So look for my invitation on Facebook and let's see what we can cook up together. Okay.
That sounds lovely. Thank you.
Because if I connect with her on LinkedIn, but she hangs out on Instagram, it was pointless. Right? Within 2 days, ask for visitors' impressions, ask questions, and invite them back if it makes sense. One thing you don't want to do when you're closing is this. Stephanie, you know what? You don't need to make a decision today at all. Like, I know that BNI, it's like a big decision. I mean, it's practically like getting married and having triplets. It's like the hugest business decision you're ever going to make. And it really requires months and months of careful, excruciating consideration. And it's beaucoup expensive. So, if you want to come back, and be a de facto not member for the next 30, 60, 90 days, that's cool. That's not going to get you a member, you guys. Stephanie, want to join today?
No, I'll just do that other thing and check it out for a little while.
Yeah. So I do this close, right? I say, listen, I know you spend $2.50 a day on stuff that doesn't grow your business, but we will help you grow your business. So if you're inclined, why don't you join? You can always quit. And quit, have you ever quit anything? Yes. Did you die? No. Okay. So this is kind of the same thing, but we're going to help you make money. It's going to take some effort. It's going to take some learning, and we're going to back you up, but we'd love to help you grow your business. Yes, it costs something. It costs less than a class at the community college that lasts a semester. This lasts a whole year. So put the investment in perspective to what else you could buy. Right? How much is a credit hour at Mizzou? 1 credit hour, right? So think about that when you're doing it. And if you're a person that feels the way that I just said, like I'm a really slow decision maker, I need a lot of time to consider, that's okay. But you don't want that person in your visitor host follow-up specialist team. You want people that are okay with helping people make a decision. If you're in the visitor orientation and they say, I'm just not sure, then you say, why don't we invite you back for a second visit? And then you can let us know. Hold to the 2-visit rule. Success Express made that one change, 2 visits. So they would say something like, Stephanie, this is your second visit. By now, we think you have a pretty good feel about whether or not you think we can help you grow your business or not. So let me ask you the question. Do you think we can help you grow your business? Stephanie says, I do. We say, great. Here's the application. We're going to take great care of you. Right? If not, then they don't get to come back for 6 months. You can't use them as a sub. Don't let them keep coming back. Let a not member be a not member for a while. Okay. Invite them to your social events, invite them to your networking circles, you know, all that prospecting stuff, invite them there, but not back to the meeting. Okay. Really quick on BNI Connect, you guys, it's a new portal for the visitor host stuff. So if you are a visitor host or a VP membership committee that gets into this, it's really quick. Here's the simple steps. You go to BNI Connect, you go to operations, make sure that you're in the right region. So either St. Louis or Southern Illinois. If you're a director consultant, this might be a problem for you. Most of you will just land in the right region, but just check it. Check to make sure that your chapter name is in the chapter box. Click on manage visitors, and then this will pop up and you'll find the visitor portal. This is what the visitor portal looks like. Isn't it pretty? And it's easy to use. If you need to add a registration, if you need to check registrations, or if you need to mark attendance. Post-meeting, you'll be marking attendance. Marking attendance looks like this. You can see here are all the visitors that are lined up. And what I did here is I checked the boxes of the people that showed up to my meeting on the 16th. And then where did I click? At the bottom, there's a place to click that says complete it. And this is what happens when you click go. You get this page, and what you want to do, this is really important. Oops. I tried to scroll, but I can't scroll on this, right? So you're going to review each of these people that are on the left. You're going to want to make sure that you have an invited by that is confirmed right here. And then you're going to click what type of visitor. Visitors are first visit. After that, they're a guest. They're a repeat visitor. You have a guest. That's just somebody who can't join. They're in a profession that is already taken in your chapter, or they don't have a business. It's your Aunt Tilly. They're a substitute, or they're another BNI member. There's a spot underneath here to make notes. And there is also a checkbox that says, do you want us to send them an email or not? So you can click no, I don't want to send my Aunt Tilly a follow-up, do you want to join BNI email? I don't want them in that sequence. So you can opt people out of the sequence. One last little bit here. There's something that we've always done. It's called the off the hook call. And the off the hook call is the visitor host that calls the visitors that did not show up for some reason. Okay. And you call them and say, hey, we missed you. Is everything okay? Right. So if Carol Hofer was on my visitor list, but she didn't show up, I'm giving her a call. I'm going to show her I care. I'm going to say, we really missed you in the meeting. We were hoping to introduce you to Stephanie and Betsy, and they were looking forward to meeting you. Could we get you to come next week? Because Stephanie and Betsy are really looking forward to meeting you, because they are. Do you want to come? Right?
And, and Betsy makes great cheesecake.
And Betsy makes amazing cheesecake. She does. All right. So the point here is that off the hook call is another thing that's like a saving grace. It's the Hail Mary. You don't know what happened to that person. Maybe they got in a car accident. About 8 weeks ago, I was driving down the highway on my way to an appointment, and I got rear-ended by a drunk driver in front of the mall. You know, you don't know. You just don't know what happened to people when they didn't show up. So you want to call and ask, are you okay? What happened? Let them know what's in it for them to come the next week. Can I confirm you for next week? Great. Then go through that pre-hospitality process. My guess is if they didn't show up, they didn't get pre-hospitality. They didn't get 3 emails from a member. They didn't get an email saying, we're looking forward to having you. Here's the details. Here's how to get here. Here's what to expect. Right? The very first thing we can do is deliver on the promise. We will help you grow your business. We will connect you. we will support and serve you. We'll tell you what it's going to look like, and then we'll make it look like we said so that people believe what we say. So our words and our actions align. We want to give people that chance. All right. So let's just go ahead very quickly. We are super on time, and I can start another unit really here quickly, but I would love to just get some questions or some comments or some feedback. I'm happy to take comments and feedback in live. If you'd like to raise your digital hand, it'll pop you to the top and we can call on you, and John can unmute you and you can speak. Or you can type it in the chat. So far, let's talk about takeaways or ahas or something that was valuable for you in the training so far that you believe that could really be of value to your chapter. This is participatory, you guys. This is the part where you get to talk or chat. Maybe I'll volunteer people.
I'll say something.
Great.
Mhm. So I think the two big takeaways are all the pre-visit, the pre-meeting stuff, touching base with them, getting people to contact them. Obviously the more engagement they get, the more likely they are to show up. That's absolutely key. Then the meeting should sell itself. And if you run a good meeting, that is what it is. That's a whole different topic. But probably the most important part is the visitor orientation after. That has to be done well. And it doesn't have to be hard, like you just explained. It doesn't have to be a hard close. Just you're asking some questions, and they should pretty much close themselves if you do it right. But that has to happen. That has to happen, and it has to happen well, and that it makes all the difference.
Yeah, and do you guys agree, just kind of by show of hands, if you do this with your own, are you doing this with your own clients? Do you have a customer journey that looks like this for your own prospects and your own clients so that you can close them? If we don't close, you never get the prospect. So Jeremy has his hand up. So Jeremy, will give you about 30 seconds, and then Stephanie will give you a little time on the clock. So Jeremy Colton can go ahead and unmute. And
it's very important to me in my business to communicate with the customer the way they want to be communicated with. So like, for instance, I added a text service and text so people could text me. And that question you added, I wrote it down in big letters, ask them which social media platform, never occurred to me. And I could end up doing exactly that. There are people with LinkedIn accounts who haven't looked at them in 5 years, right? Does no good. So thank you very much for that tip. That's my biggest takeaway.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. And John, if you can, when people are done speaking, if you could unraise their hand, that would help me out because I get visually confused. Stephanie, you had your hand up. Did you want to speak?
I did. Well, you asked. I just realized walking through this that this is not my area, but as a member, I have no idea like what actually is happening with that in our virtual, because we're all virtual. Excuse me, we're all virtual on Zoom. So other than what happens during the meeting where we tell them, to text us their level of interest, or, we do have a process during the meeting, but I have no idea what else happens. And that would actually be something I should know. So I think this is kind of letting me know the questions I need to ask, and communication between the group is key to me knowing what my visitors are experiencing.
I appreciate that, Stephanie, because we used to do this as like visitor host training at 8, mentor coordinator training at 9, and everybody. And I said, it would be much more helpful if you all knew what each other was supposed to do so you could back each other up when the poop hits the fan. If you know what's going on and Tammy goes down for the count, you can then say, Tammy, I know what you're supposed to do. Give me the 2 pages out of the manual. I'll do the checklist, because you know it's there to be done, right? So thank you for that. I appreciate it. William Frost, my favorite visitor host. You are muted, my darling. You are muted.
Thank you. That's embarrassing. I think that sometimes you can look at this as a visitor host and say, man, that's a lot of follow-up. That's a lot of work that I have to put into this. But I think that Virginia says this a lot, put the right people in the right seats. And if you have multiple people on your membership team, I'm happy to do the emails before and after, but I don't like doing the phone calls. But Brian Peterson, he's an insurance agent in our chapter meeting. He would love to make those phone calls to make connections with people before they join the meeting, because everyone needs insurance. So it's just getting the people on your team to help you through this. And it's having a good path. Like you just said, do you do this for your own business? Why not do it for BNI? It's not hard to do it for BNI, to add that on. Just have the right team in place to do it. So I love that message that you always give out, Virginia.
Thank you, Will. And I want to say to you guys, if you go back and you download the slide deck. So John, please put the link to the slide deck one more time in the chat for those of you who haven't downloaded it yet. Go back to the five roles on the visitor host team. Those legit are the 5 things that you need to put in your own business in the customer journey. In your own business. You want to not have appointments cancel? Have a pre-meeting nurture sequence that you do. Something that you do as routine, pre every single appointment that's on your calendar, right? And you go through that and write those out. Heck, grab the BNI ones and then just adapt it to your own course. Everything we do, the entire BNI leadership team manual, you could turn into SOPs, standard operating procedures for your own business and crush it. Okay. This is business. Business is business, right? And we're going to run our chapters like businesses. We have time for one more comment before we go on our 10-minute break from the top of the hour. So what other takeaways can we share? And Stacy, did we have any in the chat maybe?
The information on the cross-training support will only strengthen all chapters.
Excellent. Mike Helms. Mike, how do you pronounce your last name?
Hilmis.
See, I'm like Helms. See, Mike, thank you for telling me that your last name is Hilmis, and I will pronounce it correctly from now on because that was go ahead.
No. So Virginia, just think we're playing basketball, and I shoot, and then Jenny Bellinger says, "Oh, don't worry, he'll miss."
That's pretty funny.
Okay. All right. Anyways.
Okay.
So my biggest takeaway was exactly what you kind of hit on earlier, was I think having everyone in all the different roles know what is needed is just a great accountability piece for one, and it adds extra legitimacy to the meeting. So I think everyone knowing everyone's role, picking up the ball whenever somebody's maybe sick or not there, or if you have someone in the wrong seat, you can lovingly know that they need to get in a different seat, I guess, So I think it's huge, the training you guys are doing now, and breaking up them into multiple positions. I guess changing like the org chart, I think is very, very smart. So
yeah, that wasn't me. We resisted it. We're like, no, we don't like our 50,000 person org chart. But you have too many people. Here's what really happened with the org chart, and then I'll let you guys go to break. What happened with the org chart was we had this, Teresa Simon is a detail person. She's a super high C, and she had like 43 positions on the org chart. But the problem was that when you don't have a big chapter, when you don't have 50 people in your chapter, it feels like you're doing 9 jobs when you're really not, number one. And it also, when somebody leaves, that position, that job description doesn't get filled, and then nobody picks it up. So this way, it's like if we have quarterbacks, we have people who can say, hey, you're really good at this. Could you help with this for 90 days? Because you don't have a role, right? So things can be a little more short term, and that's great. So when we come back, Stacy will read from the chat. She'll let us know what your takeaways were from the top of the hour. We're gonna head out. We'll be back at 10:10. Go have a potty break, get yourself a snack, grab some coffee. John, open up those breakout rooms. If you guys want to go back into breakout rooms, you can private message and be like, hey, meet me in my chapter breakout room. Take 10 minutes. We'll be back at 10:10 and we'll start right on time. So we'll see you at 10:10. All right, so we're back, everybody, and we're going to talk about the new member onboarding process. So first thing we're going to do is if you are a quality assurance specialist, that means you're on the membership committee. This part is for you. And you guys, anytime we're talking membership committee stuff, even if you're not on the membership committee, you want to know, like what Stephanie was pointing out, you want to know what the process is so that you can hold everybody accountable to the process. And there's so much of the process that people know or don't know that the collective genius, like the collective memory of everything, you can check in and say, like, I think you're supposed to be asking for feedback, and or I think something's supposed to be happening. And then we can help you guys refine the process. So do think of accountability as we're all learning to master the process, and we're helping each other master these processes so we can be better business owners and better BNI members, rather than accountability being a stick that you use to punish people and beat people over the head and tell them that they're bad and they suck. So that's not what we want accountability to be like. So let's talk about onboarding new members. Okay. And if you're not muted, if you could do that, that would be terrific. All right. So everything begins in onboarding new members. I think that's more.
I got it.
Okay. Everything starts with the application process. We've got some new things. You may have figured this out or not, but it is a completely self-contained online paperless process. Let me say it again. There are no paper applications. We had a price increase on September 1, and we did not print applications with new pricing. We will not accept paper applications. You cannot use paper applications. You got to use the online portal. So let's talk about how we can use the online portal with our visitors. There are a couple of ways that people can do this. I'm going to show you the most absurd way, like the way that is the most irritating and the easiest way. So there is one way, and that's you can say to a member, just go to bnimidamerica.com and click on the apply now button. You can do that, but here's what they get. It takes them to a page that then makes them click again. Want to join a chapter? Click here. So now that's 2 clicks. Then they're going to get this big long list of all of the chapters. And they have to, you can't organize it alphabetically. You can't organize it by region. You can't organize it by area. There's no way to like change the organization of it. So they have to scroll around through it to try to find your chapter. So this is a lot of friction. I've brought this up to the tech committee at BNI Global, and I'm like, reduce the friction on this because people won't join. Like by now, I'm not joining. I mean, I don't know, by show of hands, if you've gone through this so far, how many of you are starting to feel frustrated just looking at it, right? So we have to make it easier. I'm going to show you how to make it easier, but we have to do it because tech is working on it for a future update, okay? You could say, go to BNI Mid-America, click on chapters, find our chapter, click on apply now. You could do that too. Again, a lot of clicks, a lot of friction. Much easier is you do it and see the URL up in the little whatever that bar is, the navigation bar. You can grab that URL and just give them the URL. So your visitor host has an email that says, we'd love for you to apply for membership. Click this link, it'll take you straight to the application page. But that's where you find your link. Go to your chapter, click on apply now, and you'll be able to grab your link and you can see here to make sure you have it. It says application registration and then your chapter ID number, right? So this is what you're looking for to make sure you have the right link. You could make this even easier by using a QR code generator like QR Code Monkey. That's the one that I use. You go to qrcodemonkey.com. You paste that URL into their bar, and it makes one of these cute little things. Now, this QR code is not for Masters of Referrals. It's for another chapter, but it was a QR code that I had, so I used it. You can include this QR code on a slide. You can print this QR code on the agenda. Tammy Derrigan, it makes me realize that I need to give you the QR code for our chapter application to put on the agenda that people download, right? So it can be on the agenda. It could be on a sign sitting up. It could sit right up front on the table of the president that says, join us here. And people can click that QR code. Imagine just having a sign on the president's table, on the leadership team table that says, join us all meeting long. Visually, somebody's looking at join us, join us, join us. That's going in their brain through the whole meeting. QR codes, quick response is what QR stands for. They've been around for more than a decade, but they have taken off during the pandemic because it's the easiest, most contactless way to get information into a device. All right. So please be sure that you are making it frictionless. That means get a QR code available at your meeting, make it readily available in as many places and readily visible in as many places as you possibly can, and make sure that your meeting application link goes out in your visitor follow-up email. Please note that your visitors will get an email through the BNI Engage system that invites them to join as well. Those emails that are kind of stock emails are not written by Victor, even though BNI signs them. Victor Muskis, your executive director, they are part of a stock series that BNI uses. We use Marketo, and we as regional directors don't even have any access to update any of that stuff. So if you think it's obnoxious, I'm sorry, it is just what it is. All right. So far, so good, right? So somebody clicks on the QR code, they fill out the application, and voila, your quality assurance team gets handed the baton. So your visitor host membership specialist calls your quality assurance team and says, we have an application, Houston. They're submitting an application. Quality assurance team reaches out and says, hi, Mike Vernacci. I heard from Tammy Darrigan that you're applying to our chapter. Do you need help finding that link? We can't wait to talk to you. Let's schedule your interview right now, and then you can do your application, right? If I call you after the meeting and you said you were going to apply, and the quality assurance team says, we're going to call and walk you through the process. Mike, how does that feel to you?
Feels a lot more inviting, a lot more welcoming.
Okay. So my business coach, I have a really high-end business coach. His name is Danny Eny, and he talks about friction and momentum. Everything you do, you want to release friction, overcome friction. So this is a gliding process. Yes, it would be lovely to believe that people are grown-ups and they can figure this out for themselves, but that is not what you want for a member. If you tell me you're going to help me grow my business, help me become a member, show me how you help from the beginning. Quality assurance team, you're going to do an internet search just to make sure this person is not an axe murderer. You're going to review the application, make sure everything is filled out. Of particular note, what classification did they say that they want to represent? Because whatever is on their application, that is the only category they can speak about during a BNI meeting. It doesn't matter what else they do, what their side hustles are. If they say that they are the ballet dancer in the chapter, they don't get to talk about tap and ballroom. They get to talk about ballet. Okay. They also don't get to say something like, well, I actually dance everything: ballet, jazz, tap, ballroom, salsa, Latin. But for the purposes of this chapter, I'm going to talk about ballet because they just advertised every other category. So you want to make sure that they have one category and they're marketing that one category. Having the online application has really streamlined this for us. Okay. You're going to want to do reference checks. This is a place where we often get some friction because the references don't call us back. So when you're doing the application process with that member, ask them to please text their references and connect you via text to the references so that you know that they can get something done. So it would look like this. Hey, Vicki, meet Virginia. She is on the membership committee of an organization I'm wanting to join, and they're going to be calling you for references. Please take her call and say nice things about me, okay? Then I text back, Vicki, what would be a great time for us to talk? Vicki says 9 o'clock on Thursday. Terrific. I'll give you a call. Do you see how that reduces friction on the getting the references check thing? So make sure that your member is doing that. Conduct the interview. The interview process is in your handbook. All of this is available on pages 37 to 45 of the membership team manual. And then make sure that, again, the personal classification is exactly what they want to be marketing. And if it needs to be changed, you would contact Nicole to get that shifted. The quality assurance team then asks for confidential feedback from members. I do it as a blind carbon and ask them to not reply all. In fact, the best way to do it, you guys, is to set up a separate email. So via separate email, please email me. If you don't want to put it in writing, please call me privately. Do not ever, ever, ever do a reply all deal where somebody starts giving feedback about a potential member in a reply all forum. Here's something ugly that happened. Visitor comes, applies for membership. Membership committee says, hey, we have an application from Virginia. It wasn't really me, but we'll use me as an excuse. We have an application from Virginia with ABC Widget Company. Does anybody have anything they want the membership committee to know? Reply all. I hate her guts. She is such a terrible human. Here are all the horrible things. And to top it off, I hate how she wears her hair. Guess what? Virginia was the vice president's mother. Not gonna lie. And it went out to the whole chapter. Vice president was madder than a hornet. And the chapter was mad with the member for saying such evil things that had nothing to do with whether or not this person was a consummate professional or not. It was all personal attacks and it was ridiculous. And it caused drama. And guess what happened to the chapter? They divided into the Hatfields and the McCoys. The McCoys left and the Hatfields were there. The chapter lost half their members over that. Don't let that happen. Ask for confidential feedback and keep the feedback confidential and make it professional. The question I like to ask is this, and you may want to jot this one down when you're asking for feedback. Does anyone know why this person in the chapter should not be wed? Right? From your personal experience, is there something that makes Virginia unreferable? From your personal experience, is there something that makes this candidate unreferable? Otherwise, we're going to approve them and let the chips fall where they may and allow the membership committee process to solve problems that may arise. So that is what you're looking for. And not like, well, my cousin's brother, my cousin's best friend's uncle's boss said Virginia is mean. That's not that the membership committee doesn't care about that. Okay, but you get confidential feedback from the members. All right. Quality assurance does all their work and then votes. Again, remember the VP chairs this committee and there is an even number of quality assurance members. Don't have 3 quality assurance members because then the VP doesn't get a vote. It's the VP plus 2 or 4, or if you have a chapter of 50 or more, 6. Or if you're on the super grow wagon, you might need more. The VP approves the new member in BNI Connect and the new member receives their payment link. This is new. We used to require people pay before they applied. Now we cannot do that in the online world. It's actually illegal to do it that way, I guess, or something. And you can't in some states or whatever. And since we have a federal program, we have to do it that way. The member pays. You want to say to the member when you approve them, hi, Gan, you have been approved and we need you to make your payment in 24 hours or we're going to void your application. Is there any reason why you can't take care of this today? All right. Give them 24 or 48 hours and then let them know that the application will be voided and then void it. And if they want to apply, they have to fill out a new application. Do you have to go through the whole application process again? No, you just approve it and they get 24 hours to pay. But you want people that are going to do what they say they're going to do. So this is really important. If they haven't paid in 24 hours, you give them a call and you say, hey, Gan, I just wanted to make sure you got the link. Did you see the payment link? Check your spam folder, check your junk folder. And then they say they're going to take care of it and they move along. But give them 24-hour windows and check back in, okay? The new member will appear on the roster after the office has reconciled the application to the payment. If you are looking for the new member and you don't see them on the roster, you need to call Nicole and say, why isn't Carol on the roster? we approved her. And then Nicole may say something like, oh, her payment didn't go through, or she hasn't paid yet, or whatever. Tammy, your puppy is sitting behind you in there. She's so cute. It's like the Zoom cuteness department. Okay, moving right along. Then your president inducts the new member. Pretty please, hold your leadership team to this. Do not induct a member unless they're on the roster. Here's why. I'm sure some of you have seen this happen. Hi, why isn't Tom on? Why we inducted Tom 3 weeks ago, but he's still not on, he still can't get on BNI Connect. We're like, that is right. Tom still hasn't paid, right? Like, we need, if they're not on the roster, they're not in the system, they're not going to get access to BNI Connect. Friction. Members expect that when they put their hand on the BNI Bible and say, I do, that day they get to use BNI Connect. If they're not on the roster, they don't have access. That means there's a problem with the paperwork or a problem with the process somewhere that needs to be fixed. So make sure they're in the system before inducting them. And then we're going to hand this over to our chapter mentor coordinator. So if you're a mentor coordinator, go ahead and raise your digital hand and let us know who you are. If you're a mentor coordinator, hi, Tammy Derrigan. I know Tammy's a mentor coordinator. Vicky Schramm, I see her. That's great. So I'm super excited for having our mentor coordinators here. And I do believe this is a Lisa Schuler. Yay. Oh, that's a nice choice for mentor. And Micah. Oh, we got good mentors this year. Thank you guys for stepping up for this. I do believe this is a great way for you to build your business because every new member has to pass through your hands and you get to be friends for 30, 60, 90 days, and you get to help them be successful. So welcome Craig Hansen and Pam Stout also to the mentor team. Your chapter mentor is responsible for the first 90 days of a member. Oh, Keith Castle's doing the mentor thing. I'm excited. This is great. What is a mentor? A mentor is an experienced and trusted advisor. And the member coordinator and the member mentors are essential because they're in charge of the first year journey. Your member wants to have a great experience. They need to be inculcated and incorporated into the team. They need to understand BNI. They need to know how to do it, and they need to get an ROI as quickly as possible. We need to get them referrals as quickly as possible in their first 30, 60, 90 days so that they want to do BNI for life. And I've got a plan. How many of you want to know how to get your new members referrals in their first 90 days, no holds barred, and they stay forever? Anybody? Awesome. So that's what we're going to talk about right now. So paying close attention here. Let's first talk about the benefits of serving on the mentor team. Proactive development of your VCP with those new members. You get a CEU credit by being on the team, by being one of the 10 people on the mentor team that delivers training to a new member. And you get a 1-to-1 credit as well. So double duty, guys. Each of you gets a CEU, each of you gets a 1-to-1. So being on the mentor team helps you with your BNI stats, and it helps you build relationship with your newest members. The first step is for your mentor coordinator to assign you to a team. As you can see, it's a past president or president, VP, or a trained membership committee member. And you can have someone who's actively in that role or someone who's had it in the past. It's best to have at least 2 members on there so that you have backup. So if Virginia gets overwhelmed, somebody else can do it, okay? And then preferred method of contact is how does that person want to be contacted? Is it best for the new member to contact them by phone, by messenger, by WhatsApp? How do they like to be contacted? And you want to get this sheet completely filled out before October 1 so that your team can run the member program. This is in the Passport Coordinator Manual, and it will be sent out to all of you post-training. How does the mentor coordinator program work? Well, the mentor coordinator is going to train all of the mentor teams. So here's what you're going to want to do. 1 by 1, you're going to want to have a 1-to-1 with the members on your mentor team, and you're going to want to give them their training lesson, and you're going to want to make sure that they know what they're doing. Okay. Provide them with a copy of their lesson plan and make sure they understand this one thing. This first agenda is not about them. I know that we want to promote our business, but first build relationship. And the way you build relationship with a new member is to ask them for nothing in their first 90 days other than that they complete their homework. Give, 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 give. How can I help you? What do you need? What connections do you need? What are you confused about? Tell me about your business. Learn about them for the first 90 days. They will refer you. They will. Just don't talk about you in that first one-to-one with a new member. So you spend 20 minutes on the little training topic and 40 minutes learning about the new member. With any luck, the new member says something like this: wow, Tom, the time went by so quickly. I didn't even get a chance to ask you about you. And you say, well, I designed it that way because you're important right now, and making sure you have a great experience is important right now. And let's set up another one-to-one, and you can ask me any questions you'd like about my business as well. I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. So that's how we want to proceed with our newest members. The first thing we're going to do is as mentor coordinator, you are going to set up an orientation for the day of their induction. So once they've been approved and you get notice that they're being inducted, you as the mentor coordinator are going to call them and ask them for 30 minutes after today's meeting. And if they can't do it today, then try to do it before the meeting if you can get them to do it before the meeting, unless that's hella early and you aren't out of bed at that time. Or make sure you do it during the week. Okay, well, let's set up something separate in the next day or two. I want to get you onboarded. Hold on to their new member kit. They need to meet you for the orientation to get their new member kit. That's when they get their new member kit. We used to give it away at inductions. I saw Extreme Business Builders do this. They held it up and the new member got to hold it for the induction. And then the president took it from their hands and gave it to the mentor coordinator and said, Tammy's going to go over all the contents with you at your orientation. And Tammy has Virginia's box, and it's held hostage. And does Virginia want the box? Yes. She doesn't really want to go through orientation, trust me, but she wants whatever's in the box. So that's when they get their new member kit. By the way, we do have new member kits. They're really kind of swag. They're very cool. And for those of you that are in St. Louis, they will be available for porch pickup at Nicole's Place in Glendale. And in St. Louis, in Illinois, they're available for porch pickup here at the Mooskie's Mini Farm. So that's where you can get your new member kits. And if you're online, we're going to figure out how to get people their new member kits that way. Step 2, the member downloads the Path to Profit digital roadmap. Please grab your phone right now, click this QR code and save this to your phone so that you can pass it along to new members. Tom Liebenrud, I know that you are on the call right now and I have new updates for you. So guys, this is going to be updated and made more current for all of the new changes that BNI has made. But everything I'm about to share with you is going to be on this digital roadmap that allows new members to know what comes next. So hopefully everyone has snapped this and saved it to their device. All right. And you're going to share it with your new member using the share function on the digital card. Oh, I still see some phones coming up. I'll give it a couple more seconds. All right.
Don't forget, you can get the QR code in the slideshow, which is in the chat. You can
Thank
download.
you, John. Yes, it is in the slides. Lisa Schuler, you have your hand up, dear.
Yeah, text stupid question. So I took a picture of this. Am I just saving it in my gallery and that's how I'm going to send it to them? Is there a different way to save it to send?
No, if you click on it and then you save the actual card to your phone, then there's a way to share it from your phone.
Okay.
So you should be able to hover the lens over your hover it over your phone.
Yeah, it sent me to something, but I don't know how to save it.
So you should be able to save that to your phone and then see where it says there's a button right there. It says share this card.
Yeah.
You'll be able to share the card using that function inside the card.
Hey, Virginia, can I ask a quick question?
Yes. Who was that? Lori?
Lori, unmute yourself.
Lori,
I thought there
you
was
need to
background
unmute
noise.
yourself, love. You got muted.
Okay,
somehow.
thank you.
Yeah.
Is this recent section regarding applicants, where they can go to apply, is this also happening in the LT training this morning? Is there some considerable overlap between what we're learning, or do I feel like I need to share some of this information with my VP? Is there overlap?
If your VP is actually in the room, then yes, it's being
The
shared.
other room.
In the other room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other
By the
conference,
way-
I guess.
Wait, isn't Mike Vernacci your president?
Our president, new president is Kevin Vardelian.
Oh, I'm sorry. For some reason, Mike, I was like, you're not even in that chapter. Got the names wrong. I was like, is Mike Vernacci in the wrong room? Oh no, Mike. Okay. Sorry, Mike, you're in the right place at the right time. Thanks for being here.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it should all be there.
Okay.
This thing right here with the card, Lori, might not be, because I'm a little more tech forward than my husband.
Okay. All right. Very good.
But this will be in a lot of these things will also, these little technical things will also be at Regional Success Summit in October. So we'll be reiterating a lot.
Okay, good. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. All right. Onboarding your new members. This is still the orientation. Decide how they're going to do MSP. Are they going to go to Zoom on the third Tuesday of every of the month? Get them to the BNI calendar, sign them up, get it on their calendar. If not, they can do the online course at BNI Business Builder. Set a date, show them how to get on Business Builder, where the course is, and set a date for them to finish and report back to you. It should be done in their first 60 days. And we used to require it of renewing members. And I actually think that might be a really good idea, because BNI is always updating. So it's not the same presentation over and over again. And any new information is going to go into that MSP presentation. So I do think it would be good to ask renewing members to go through their member success program, because it'll help you have better members. All right. Step 4. Introduce your new member to the Passport Mentoring Program. You're going to give them a copy of that sheet that has everybody's names and preferred contact information so that they can reach out. However, guys, reduce the friction. Somebody like me is like, oh, yay, Gayan, I want to one-to-one with you, and Dawn, I want to work with you, and oh, Andrew, I want to talk to you, blah, blah, blah. Your shyer, more introverted people are not doing the reach outs. And you know what? Even somebody like me really appreciates it when somebody calls me on the phone and I don't have to do all the calling all the time. So the best thing to do is for you as the mentor coordinator to say to your president, hey, Mr. President, please reach out to Matthew. Hey, Ms. Vice President, please reach out to Vicky. Just a quick email, right? Or a text. Vicky and Virginia, you guys need to do your passport thing. Let me know when that's done, right? This week. You guys need to do that this week. Let me know when you get it done, right? So you can coordinate this and make this happen. It requires that your mentor team let you know. So you got to send out kind of a message, which is, hey, if you know of a time when you're not going to be able to do this or you don't have the bandwidth, let me know, because Virginia needs to get onboarded and I'm going to set this up with her. Right? And set up the schedule. This week, you're going to meet with the president. This week, you're going to meet with this person. This week, you're going to meet with that person. Help them set up a schedule. Make it frictionless for them to be successful in this process. And then hold the members accountable for helping the new member. This is not about holding the new member accountable. Hold the team accountable for helping the new member. Do you see the difference? It's super critical that a new member doesn't feel like they're on the accountability train quite yet. All they should need to do is go, yes, sure, yes, thank you, yes, please, yes, absolutely. They just need to say, yes, we need to put the offers on the table to make this work. There is a slide that your president has that goes into your slide presentation. And Tammy, thank you for popping those pictures into our slides and getting this all set up. You absolutely rock. So this is one of our newest members. And so they're getting extra visibility. And as they have their one-to-ones, Tammy will be putting little X's in the box. We have 4 new members going through Passport program right now. So she will be giving an update during the mentor coordinator report saying, hey, this is Blake and he's gotten these 4 done. And so, hey, Amanda, you are on deck. Please reach out to Blake and set up a one-to-one with him and get him onboarded as far as education coordinator goes, right? So that's what the mentor coordinator is doing. We're catalyzing the team, we're rallying the team around the new member and making stuff happen. Again, this slide is available in a Google Drive. Every president will be invited to it to make a duplicate, and then they can customize it. And I do have a VA who is available for a very small fee that will customize your BNI slideshow for your chapter. So she did mine for $100. She put in all the pictures, she put in all the slides, she customized everything, and now we can just maintain it. And another thing that I've suggested to presidents, though I don't think, to Lori's point, it's going to get suggested. I put it up in a Google Drive that's shared for the chapter, and every person who does a report is responsible for their own slides, so no one person gets stuck doing all of it. Right? So Tammy doesn't have to tell me, okay, here are all the updates. Tammy just goes in and updates it. So we have that, and we present out of a Google workspace. I do believe Marcel was telling me that Microsoft 365 also has a cloud-based storage that you can invite people to and do it if you're using PowerPoint, but that's a thing. All right. Finally, the mentor coordinator is going to do a wrap-up session. Once the member completes all 10 sessions and attends member success program, they get feedback on their experience, biggest takeaways, and turn them over to the chapter community builder to do a new member ribbon cutting. Make sure to celebrate that graduate. Let your LT know. Make a slide for them. Make it a big deal. They graduated from the Passport and completed their MSP. That's what makes them eligible to go on your speaker rotation. And your speaker they go 4 weeks from their graduation because that day is their member ribbon cutting. So their very first keynote is their member ribbon cutting day. Let your director consultant know. What would it mean to a new member to get a note in the mail from a director consultant that says, hey, Sharon Burke, I heard from Tammy Derrigan that you completed the Passport in your MSP. Way to kick off your first quarter as a BNI member with style and accountability. I'm really looking forward to meeting you. I can't wait to network with you. Congratulations. See you at Regional Success Summit. Right? That person gets a card from the executive director or the director. We are cementing the relationship. Let the regional office know. Carol Hofer is here today. So Carol Hofer coordinates our graduates and makes sure that they get love and they are congratulated personally, and then make sure that Nicole knows to recognize them at Regional Success Summit and make sure they are invited to Regional Success Summit to be recognized at Regional Success Summit. So those are the 3 things that our coordinators do. I believe we're still looking for a Passport coordinator for Illinois. And I think Chris Schumart is handling it for us in St. Charles. So we'll make sure that everybody knows at Regional Success Summit who does what and who reports to whom, but you want to make sure that you're doing that. Final thoughts. Have backup mentors whenever possible. Transferring members are not required to do the Passport, but I don't know why you wouldn't want them to do it. Don't you want to treat a transferring member just like a new member? If they're transferring, it's for a reason. Maybe it's logistics, but maybe they didn't feel the love. So ask them, invite them. Would you like to do the Passport program? They're not required, but you can invite them. The sessions can be done in any order. You don't have to go down the list. And keep it positive. When people get off track, just refocus and re-engage them. Don't make them feel ashamed or embarrassed or whatever. Just say that's okay. Just get back up on the pony and ride, right? So this is your homework, mentor coordinators. Make sure that this gets done. Make sure that your newest members have them, and make sure that all of your mentor team has this sheet and knows what they're supposed to do. Ready to talk? Are we ready to talk ribbon cutting? Everybody put your hands over your head. Hands over your head, hands over your head, and lean to the left. And lean to the right. And shake your hands. Okay. We have a break coming up in 15 minutes, and I am going to get you through a new member ribbon cutting in record time. Remember, you have the slides, so I'm not going to go through a lot of detail on this, but here's the thing. If you want to do a ribbon cutting, schedule a director to come for the first one you ever do for 4 consecutive weeks and help you plan it out. Schedule your director. You know that you pay for your director, right? Like your membership fee pays for your consulting. Consult. Say, we need a consultant. We need some help over here. Ask for it, and we will teach you in real time, live time, how to do these things. So here's what we're going to do. Why do we do a ribbon cutting? Number one, we want to celebrate the new member. Recognition is high on our list of values. We want to support the new members' ongoing success. This sets them up for the next 90 days of their journey. We want to give your new members an opportunity to contribute back to the chapter's success. We want you to grow your network, and we want you to add new members. Jana, you had your hand up. Do you have a question? No. Okay, great. So this is the why. Let's talk about the how. All right. The who in this is community builder. We're going to toss it back to the community builder because this is a growth initiative. So the community builder is going to lead the process. The community builder is going to meet with your new member immediately following their graduation ceremony, right? So they graduate, and just like when they got inducted, they had a meeting and orientation with the member mentor coordinator. The day that you do their celebration, yay, Virginia finished her passport, and we give her a cupcake and we bring her up to the front of the room and we clap for her and we make her feel the love and we say, now we're starting next week, we're going to be planning for Virginia's ribbon cutting. That day, the community builder specialist has a ribbon cutting orientation with the new member. The new member makes 2 lists and to give over to the community builder. 1, the contact sphere professions that they most need. It's a good idea to make a list of about 3 to 5, no more. So they make a list of 3 to 5 professions that they either need because they have referrals and they don't have someone reliable to refer their clients to, or they need to receive referrals from them. The second list is that they're going to make a list of 25 business professionals to invite to support them at their celebration because it's their very first keynote. So they're inviting people to come and support them at a speaking engagement for their referral network. All right. The chapter members are going to use that list of 3 to 5 professions to identify, invite, and confirm the people from their network that could be great referral partners and sources for the new member. So the new member is making 25 to 40 invitations to their network, and the chapter members are all getting 3 to 5 invitations from their network to benefit the new member. Does everybody see, show of jazz hands here, why this is a good idea? The new member has built relationship over the last 90 days. Now we're going to build credibility. We've got the visibility handled. We're going to build credibility. We're going to be more credible because we're going to contribute materially to them. They're going to be more credible because they're going to contribute to the chapter. We're going to elevate this up. There are 2 phases during the 4-week prep period. There's stuff you do at your meeting. There's stuff you do at your office after the meeting. And members have an assignment and the new member has an assignment. So the experienced members are going to do stuff and the new member is going to do stuff. Let's look at it step by step. If I could get my cursor to do this. All right, here we go. There are 3 weeks of in-meeting prep, 4 weeks of at-home prep. And it works best if everybody is all in and you are completely focused on nothing more than building that new member's contact sphere. We used to use referral slips, but those are a thing of the past. So your chapters go, if you're in person, your chapter is going to need to invest in some index cards. If you're online, you can do this via text. You can do this in the chat. You can do this via LinkedIn. You can do this a lot of different ways. But what you want to do is write down the date and your name so your person knows where these referrals are coming from, the new member name, who it's for, this is for, so from me to this member, and then the names, only the names and profession and company name, no contact information. Carol Hofer, Personal Banker, Royal Bank. That's it. That's all it says. Those three things. You're going to do that 3 times and you're going to give that, you're going to make a duplicate. So you're going to write that down for yourself. You're going to give 1 index card. The community builder is going to collect them up at the meeting and hand them over to the new member. Think about this. You have 15, 20 members in your chapter. The 15 or 20 members in your chapter each write down 3 potential introductions. You're the brand new member. You just got 20 index cards, each with 3 potential connections. How are you feeling about your team right now? Does that feel pretty sexy, right? Okay. I'll tell you guys what we're going to do with them in a minute. Your new member is going to use the BNI as a who do you know business form to create their list of 20 plus business professionals. That's what they're doing for the 5 minutes or so in the meeting. Are they going to get 25? No, they're probably going to have to do a little more work, but that's what they're doing while everyone else is writing down on index cards. Then they're going to go home. You as experienced members are going to add to the duplicate card the email address and phone number. So now I've got my index card and it has Carol's name on it, and I'm going to write Carol's email and I'm going to write Carol's phone number. I'm going to do the research and get that done. Maybe she's already in my phone, so that's cool because I'm going to show you can use the app to actually send text messages or emails from your contacts in your phone. So you really only need to do this part for people that aren't in your phone. We're working on making this a digital process. The new member goes home after the first meeting and connects on LinkedIn with all of those people because we have their name, their company, so they can look everybody up. So suddenly they're able to say like, oh, hey, Tammy, Tom Rubin said you were a great real estate investment consultant, and I thought I would connect with you here. Hope to meet you someday. Here's the script right here. It is in your downloads, okay? The other thing the new member is doing is starting to look up emails and phone numbers of the professionals that are on their personal guest list to make sure they have all that information. That's week 1. Week 2, in the meeting, you're going to use your BNI app to invite people to the ribbon cutting. So you're going to go to the app, you're going to click on visitors, you're going to click on invite a visitor, and you're going to share with an SMS or maybe by email, and you're going to say, hey, Dawn, I'd love to introduce you to Betsy. I think you guys would hit it off. She makes amazing cheesecake. I know how much you love cheesecake. Please join us for her ribbon cutting. Just click this link to RSVP, and then the link is pre-populated through the app in your text message or your email message. So now in the meeting, you're going to send 3 text message invites or email invites. Pretty easy, right? Doesn't take very long. The new member starts inviting from their list using the app. And they're just going to say, hey, I just completed my orientation with my new BNI group, and I'd love you to join me at my ribbon cutting. Click this link to RSVP. So they're starting to send out invitations as well. That's week 2 during the meeting. The invitations get done during the meeting, just like when we do Think Big events and we all bring 40 letters and we bring 40 envelopes and we fold our envelopes and we address our envelopes and we stamp our envelopes during the meeting. You guys, who's done that? Right? We do it at the meeting. Why? Because when we do it at the meeting, it gets done. If you have to shorten sales manager moments to 40 seconds so that you can buy yourself a 7-minute window to get stuff done, is that worth it? Is it worth it to know you're going to have a room with 20, 30 visitors in it in 4 weeks and you're going to give up a minute in 4 weeks of talk time? Absolutely. Because talk time doesn't make you money. This makes you money. This is the money making stuff. Okay. Week 2 in office, you're going to call people and say, ready for this one? Hey, John, I sent you an invitation to Vicky Schrumm's ribbon cutting. I was just wanting to make sure you got it. Can you come? Everyone you sent a digital invitation to needs a phone call or a messenger. If people respond pretty well to Facebook Messenger, if that's a preferred method of communication. Your new member week 2 in office is doing the same thing with their 25 invites. Hi, Mom, it's me. I sent you an invite to my ribbon cutting. Just wanted to make sure you got it. Are you coming? Let's look at week 3. Oh, in week 2, your new member is also going to prepare the keynote presentation. This is a time when a mentor coordinator might choose to say, hey, Betsy, I know you're going to be doing your keynote. Are you feeling good about that? Or do you want to sit down and we write it out together? We work it out together. Because the number one thing that a new member does during their keynote is tells us what they do. So Betsy's like, well, I get the eggs and then I put the flour in the bowl and then I crack the eggs and I add some butter and I stir it up. I've got this big industrial mixer because, you know, when you use a hand mixer, it's really hard. And that's not going to get her referrals. You know what gets Betsy referrals? These are the cheesecake bites that I did for the blah, blah, blah wedding of the Sultan. And so I'm going to pass these cheesecake bites around for all of you to taste my cheesecake bites. And I'd like a recommendation to any wedding planners that you know. Oh, and these cheesecake bites are the one that I did for the inauguration of the grand poobah of the whatever, right? Like that's what's going to get you referrals. So I'd like to meet all of the grand poobahs that you know. This is how Betsy's going to get referrals. If she talks to me about her darn industrial mixer and all the attachments for 6 minutes, I'm going to be bored out of my skull and I'm not giving her a referral. So I hope that helps, Betsy. In case you were planning on doing that, it doesn't work. All right. So you're going to want them to prepare their keynote presentation and the mentor coordinator can certainly reach out and offer assistance. Here we go. Week 3 in the meeting, the referrals start to fly. Anyone who said they are going to come to Betsy's ribbon cutting goes into the app as a referral. And the note is they're attending your ribbon cutting. Why? Because then Betsy can send a quick email and say, oh, Sharon, I'm so excited. Clayton said you're coming to my ribbon cutting and I am so excited to meet you. And then you know what Betsy does? She wraps up 2 cheesecake bites in cellophane and puts a gift tag with the person's name on it and gives everybody, all the visitors that are coming to her thing, a present. Ooh, now Betsy's on it, right? Maybe it's your company swag. So that way you've welcomed them and say, can't wait to see you. I have a little gift for you when you show up. Okay, am I starting to think about maybe showing up? Yes, right? Week 3, new members are doing the same thing. They've called people and said, hey, here's who's in my chapter. Maybe you'd like to meet them. And then they're saying, hey, Sharon, I have a CPA coming from my network, and I think you would want to talk to them when they get there. I'm going to go ahead and refer them to you since you've been saying you wanted to meet a CPA. Here you go, right? So now Sharon can reach out to that CPA and say, I'm so excited that you're supporting Betsy with her ribbon cutting, and I look forward to meeting you. Thank you for supporting her. She's a great member. You're going to testimonialize about that new member, build them up in their friends' eyes, and then you're going to thank them for supporting their member and for coming in advance, letting them know you want to network with them. When you get to your office, you're going to send out reminders, make all these connections, prepare a darn good sales manager moment that is fun and engaging and funny. And it's going to be shortened because there's going to be a lot of people in the room. So you're going to get about 30 seconds. So make it good. Remember, the meeting agenda is not boring. If your meeting is boring, the people are boring. The agenda is just the framework. Don't be boring. And if you want to be entertaining, even stand-up comedians don't wing it. They plan it, right? They plan to be humorous. They plan to be engaging. If you've done business with the new member, consider posting a testimonial to their BNI Connect profile, shouting them out on LinkedIn, announcing their ribbon cutting, et cetera, et cetera. Do some promotional work. Same thing for the new members. All right, we're gearing up. I got 1 minute. This is in your packet. Here are some considerations. Visitor host team, you're going to kick it into gear and you're going to be awful busy. So make sure that you've got a ribbon that you've got balloons, that you've got decorations, that you have all that going on. Who's in charge of all of that? Make sure you have all of that taken care of. Make sure as well that at showtime, you got everybody in the room early. You got your new members at the registration table. You've got your master connectors chosen. You're running a perfect visitor host program. And then on game day, make sure that you're running a crackerjack, super awesome meeting. Okay. Make sure that the I have portion is quick and you are delivering referrals and testimonials. And guys, if you don't have them every week, I would have people do their last month. Last month, these were my results at that ribbon cutting, so that there's a lot of results being reported. Okay. So it is the top of the hour, everybody. And what I would like to do before we move on is give you all just a really quick opportunity to run to the restroom, to heat up your coffee. It is right now 11 o'clock and we're going to come back at 10 after, and I am hopefully going to get you through the rest of everything I got to get you through. All right. So 10 minutes, please be back on time, and we will continue going. Before you go, if you'll, I need to stop the